Today is October 20th, 2020. The interviewer is Christian Wright, and we're at the Camden Carroll Library at Morehead State University. If you could please introduce yourself.
My name is Malyn Sweat.
And Malyn, where are you from originally?
Lexington, Kentucky.
Cool. And do you live here on campus or rent?
I live on campus.
Nice. And earlier you said you're a junior, correct?
Yes.
What's your major?
Pre-vet.
Pre-vet? Nice. My roommate's doing pre-vet. So how long have you worked for the university?
Since my freshman year.
And now we'll get into some more COVID-oriented questions. When did you first hear about the coronavirus? And when you heard about it, what did you think?
When I first heard about it, I think it was like March, because my mom had called me. She was panicked, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sick," and I was like, "What? Are you okay?" And she was like, "No," because she never had the flu, and that's what it was. And I was like, "Well, are you sure that you have the flu?" And she was like, "Well, that's what they told me." And I was like, "Okay," but I mean, it was kind of worrying because it's obviously we don't know what it is, but I feel like most people don't take it as seriously as they should.
So last year, about the end of March, when we all left campus, how did that kind of feel?
It was really weird because obviously we were going on spring break and there are like classes are going to be transferred to all online. So I was kind of nervous because I had chemistry and physics, and I'm not very good at chemistry and physics. This was my first year taking it, so I was kind of like nervous about how that would go. But it just kind of felt weird to just move everything back home. We still had like so much of the semester left.
And how did moving out of the dorms go? I know I'd heard that was kind of an experience for people.
Yeah, it was. We were supposed to have like certain time slots, and it was just like people didn't really want to follow it, so it was kind of crowded. And I lived in Menon Hall, and it was like we had the one elevator, so everybody trying to like get on the elevator. It was just like we were all just cramped in the hallway, like trying to maintain distance.
The complete opposite of social distancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did switching online classes go for you? You said you were a little concerned about them.
Yeah, for the most part it was okay. Like I said, just chemistry and physics was kind of different because my chemistry professor did like WebEx meetings, so like we were still able to like ask him questions and things. But my physics professor just like posted the notes. It was like, if you need me, like email me, but here are the notes. Try your best.
Yeah. So do those classes, well, from each professor's approach, did they kind of relax a little bit if they still were just posting notes, or since one was on WebEx, were they still just as strict as?
Not really. My chemistry professor, he was kind of like, well, I know that you can like cheat, so just don't use each other, but you can use your notes in the book and everything. But my physics professor was like, no, we have to use lockdown with the webcam, so try your best with just using the notes, but don't cheat on exams.
Yeah. And how was daily life kind of when the pandemic first started for us here?
It was not that bad for me because I really don't do anything. I usually just stay at home, but it was just like now that I couldn't really just go out, it was kind of like hectic because I was at home with my mom and my brother. And my brother doesn't really like to be at home, so he was just playing video games. And my mom was like, do something else. Like, you're on the game 24/7. Like, do something else. And he's like, well, I don't have nothing else to do. So it was just, and listen, they kind of have the same attitude, so they bicker back and forth. And I'm just in the middle of it, like, just stop. Like, go separate places. Just don't argue.
Definitely got a little, I need bone space and time in there, didn't you? So moving forward through the summer and then coming back to school, how is life in the pandemic? Do you feel like you've adjusted to it a little bit?
A little bit. It's kind of different with like wearing the mask every day because my glasses fog up, so it's just like I can't take it off like in buildings, But like walking, it's like I try to like keep it over my nose and my mouth when I walk past people, but then it's like I can't see, so I don't want to run into somebody. But that's the only major difference. Other than that, I feel like I've adjusted pretty well.
And has the pandemic changed how you use technology at all?
I'm on my computer a lot more, and so, but other than that, like doing schoolwork, but other than that, not really.
And I know, especially early, there was some conflicting guidance the state and federal government handed down. Do you have any thoughts on just kind of how that went?
Not really. I don't really. I try to keep out of politics, but not really.
And when we started getting closer to the semester, the university started sending us their rules and what we were going to have to do. What did you think of their rules when you first got them?
I think they were trying to do as best as they could to like keep us socially distanced since we are not as big of a campus, and it was just like try to maintain your distance, like keep your mask on, and how I really like how they switched like classes to online, so we weren't all like in the classroom together. We could have space, and like not everybody was outside like during class changes.
And do you think the campus has been providing us enough information to, about COVID here and the possibly any infected people?
Yeah, at first, like my friend, she was like, "Oh, we've had this many cases." I was like, "Well, how do you know?" Because like I had never heard of it, and she was like, "Oh, well, it's on the website." I was like, "Oh, well, that was a good thing to know." So.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they keep updating the website.
Yeah.
It's just, how has COVID affected you personally, if at all?
I don't think it's really affected me personally because I haven't got it, and I don't know anyone that has. But like, I feel like I am kind of more cautious about like being near people if they like seem like they're sick. It's like I don't want to get it because my mom's at a high risk. So like I don't want to go home and give it to her and then have her get seriously sick from it.
And earlier this month, the president tested positive for COVID. What are your thoughts on that? It was kind of a scary moment there for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, I really don't know. It's just, I feel like sometimes he could take it more seriously by putting on his mask and like encouraging more people to put on their mask. And like with him testing positive, I feel like it can get anybody at any time and take it more seriously.
And is there anything else you'd like to talk about or add?
No.
All right. Thank you for your time.